We did Archaebacteria. Okay. We did Archaebacteria. We did Cyanobacteria, BGA. We did Eubacteria, right? Correct. So even we did did we completed Mycoplasma as well?
No, sir.
Okay. So just a minute. Please remind me. We did. So we were doing actually. We were doing Monera. So in Monera, we did general characteristic. Yes. General characteristic.
Yes, sir.
Then we did Eubacteria, right? BGA, are we done with that?
No, Eubacteria. We did only Archaebacteria.
We did only Archaebacteria.
Yes, sir.
What about Eubacteria?
Thermoacidophiles.
Okay, thermoacidophile. What about the Eubacteria, BGA, and Mycoplasma? We did not cover that. We didn't cover that bacteria, structure of bacteria. Bacterial structure. We did it or not? Let me check it with my record as well. Classification, 5 kingdom, viruses. Okay. We did classification system, 5 kingdom classification system. We did viruses, and we were supposed to start with the Monera. We were supposed to. I just told you about the Archaebacteria only, right? 6 kingdom. Yes. Am I clear? Yushra. And Marine, you was there in last class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Marine was there, and Shoaib was there. Shoaib was there in last class. Yusra was there in last class. Okay, fine, no issue. So let's start. So we'll start with the Monera, right? So we are going to start with the Monera. So put the heading Kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera. Then we start with the Monera, right? So first thing that we are going to start the structure of Monera. So what actually Monera Kingdom is? Okay. So Monera. So before starting Monera, I would like to tell you that Monera Kingdom we have already even discussed. In case if you have any query, keep on asking me, and never hesitate while asking your query. So we are going to start with Monera. Let me open the Monera, some diagrams, PPT. Monera, where is that? Monera, yes, it's there. Okay. So Monera is kingdom of bacteria. So what we did, we discussed in 5 kingdom classification system. The first kingdom was Monera, and so first heading is Kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera, and we have discussed in last class that the Monera Kingdom, in Monera Kingdom we have kept all prokaryotic organism, and all those prokaryotic organism they are unicellular. They are unicellular. So what are that? They are all prokaryotic organism have been kept in a single kingdom, and that we call Monera. And Monera is always unicellular. They can never be multicellular. Yes, that we have discussed in last class, right? Then the representative of Monera Kingdom are Eubacteria, blue-green algae, Mycoplasma, and Archaebacteria. And Archaebacteria we have already discussed. Archaebacteria. So we have already discussed about the Archaebacteria. Now we are going to start with the general characteristic of Monera, right? And after discussing the general characteristic of Monera, we will discuss with this one. We will discuss with the Eubacteria and bacteria, in fact, bacterial structure, and then rest of the thing, right? So first start noting down. Start it. The Monera have various kind of nutrition. It may be autotrophic. It may be autotrophic. So autotrophic means those which can make their own food. They may be autotrophic. So autotrophic are always photosynthetic bacteria. So they may be autotrophic, means they are making their own food. It may be autotrophic. It may be saprophytic. What is saprophytic? So what is saprophytic? They may be saprophytic. Tell me what is saprophytic. Who's going to tell me? The mode of nutrition. Autotrophic are those which are green and they make their own food. Saprophytic, Yusra, what are the saprophytic bacteria? Marine, saprophyte.
Sir, they make food from dead and decaying matter.
Exactly, very good, very good. They make food from dead and make food from dead and decaying matter, right? They may be parasitic. So we all know that parasitic are those organisms which take nutrition from another living. They take nutrition from another livings. So they take nutrition from another livings. They may be parasitic. So they may be autotrophic, they may be saprophytic, they may be parasitic, or one more, they may be symbiotic. What are the symbiotic? Symbiotic? Yes. So symbiotic relationship is that kind of relationship where two organisms help each other. For sake of example, you have like a friend and you are weak in mathematics and your friend is weak in physics. You know the physics and he or she knows the mathematics. So he's teaching you mathematics and you are teaching him physics. So you both are helping each other. So this kind of relationship is called mutualism, or this kind of relationship is called symbiotic relationship. So in symbiotic relationship, they help each other, right? So it is a relationship between two organisms. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the mode of nutrition may be autotrophic, where they are photosynthetic. It may be saprophytic, it may be parasitic, or it may be symbiotic. Next point. Their body is, next important thing, their body is remains covered with mucilage. Their body is remains covered with mucilage. So what is mucilage? Mucilage is gel-like structure. Mucilage is gel-like covering. So their body remains covered with mucilage, right? Next point. They have circular DNA. They have circular DNA. So what is circular DNA? Circular DNA is like circle-like structure. Our DNA is not this kind of DNA. So what kind of DNA we have? The humans or eukaryotic cell? Our DNA is different. Our DNA is not circular. Our DNA is like rope-like structure or string-like structure. So we have this kind of DNA structure. This is DNA structure. So this kind of DNA structure. So our DNA is straight DNA. It is helical. It is rope-like structure. But bacterial DNA is circular. Always remember, bacterial DNA is circular. Next point. Reproduction takes place asexual. Reproduction takes place asexual and sexual means. We'll discuss in detail. Reproduction takes place by sexual and asexual means. So they reproduce with the help of asexual and sexual method, right? So these were the general characteristic of Monera. Now discuss one by one. So we are going to discuss with the first member which has been given in even your NCERT. So we discussed already in last class Archaebacteria. So Archaebacteria was first and the second was Eubacteria. So now we are going to discuss with the Eubacteria. So let's put the heading of Eubacteria. So what are the Eubacteria? I'll tell you the structure of Eubacteria. So put the heading Eubacteria. Look, What does mean by eubacteria? Eu, it's a Latin word. Eu means new and bacteria means bacteria. So this is eubacteria, right? So let's discuss about the eubacteria. Now I'm going to explain you the cellular structure of eubacteria. So put the heading, the structure of eubacteria. Look. This is the structure of eubacteria. Now this in eubacteria, I'll tell you each and everything. Keep on eye on your screen. So look, the outermost covering is called capsule. Capsule is made up of a material, and the name of that material is called glycocalyx. So capsule is made up of glycocalyx. So what is glycocalyx? I will explain you when you will jot it down. Just right now try to understand. Glycocalyx is made up of sugar kind of substance. It's a type of, in fact, sugar. So first outermost layer is called capsule. Capsule protect this bacteria from external any kind of unfavorable condition. The second layer, which is found in bacterial cell, it is cell wall. Cell wall is made up of a chemical, and the name of chemical is peptidoglycan. What is name? Peptidoglycan. So cell wall is made up of a structure chemical that is called peptidoglycan. The third layer, which is found in bacterial cell, that is plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is always in any, either in our body or in plant's body or in bacterial body. Everywhere plasma membrane is present, right? In every living cell, plasma membrane is present. So plasma membrane is made up of two things. It is made up of lipid, means bilayer of lipid, two layer of lipid, bilayer of lipid, and plus the second thing, protein. So plasma membrane is made up of this one, bilayer of lipid and protein. What is lipid? Can anybody tell me what is lipid? Yusra, what is lipid? Marine, what is lipid? Shoaib, keep on asking me. Like suppose that I say any term and you are not aware with that term, say frankly, ask frankly, don't hesitate. Look, lipid is, if you will not ask now, so your concept will not become that much strong, and you'll always have confusion. So never hesitate while asking any basic kind of thing. If you do not have any clarity with any basic thing, so just ask, don't hesitate. Look, so you have, if you have melted condition of butter, so we will call that fat. And if that butter become denser, or it becomes a bit more denser, or it becomes solid kind of, or semi-solid kind of structure, so we will call it lipid. Lipid is a fat which is looks like greasy or solid kind of condition. There is nothing difference between the fat and lipid. So we can say lipid is a type of fat which have semi-solid or solid condition, right? So butter, we can say it's a lipid. Clear? So every bacteria have,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So capsule may or may not be in bacteria. That is not mandatory that capsule will always be any eubacteria. Capsule may present or may not present. That is not mandatory characteristic. But yes, every bacteria will have cell wall. Every bacteria will have plasma membrane. Next, the internal structure or internal material which is filled over here, that is called cytoplasm. So this is cytoplasm, or we also call it protoplasm. Cytoplasm have ribosome. Ribosome, the function of ribosome is protein synthesis. They help in synthesis of protein, means formation of protein. Protein synthesis. The important thing is that you will get a question that what is the size of these ribosome? So size of ribosome in any bacteria is 70 S type. So they have 70 S type size. Next, they have flagellum. So what is flagellum? Number of flagella in any bacteria or even in any other cell, maximum they can be up to 4. So they have 1 to 4 flagella. Flagella is made up of a protein, and we call that protein. Can you tell me? Flagellin protein. So flagella is made up of flagellin protein. Look, now the bacteria have, yes.
The only difference between pili and flagellum is that they are small and flagellum is longer in size.
No. There are more differences. Let me tell you more clearly. Look, so pili and flagella, they are very different kind of structure. First, flagella is very longer structure, and the function of flagella is locomotion. So they help in locomotion, right? So with the help of flagella, they move here and there. Pili is actually, they are, this is the structure of pili. Penetrate till this penetrate cell wall, they penetrate plasma membrane, they penetrate complete capsule, and they are pipe-like structure. And with the help of pili, this DNA, a fragment of DNA can come out. So pili is meant for sexual reproduction. Pili is meant for sexual reproduction. So with the help of this pili structure, they transfer their part of DNA. I will tell you how do they transfer. And every filament is not pili. The small, so pili is the filament which penetrate from protoplasm to outside. But these small structure which have grown on outer surface only. These structure are not called pili. These structure are actually called membranae. So we use term membranae. Let me make you more clear. Membranae. So the term is membranae. These structure are called membranae. So membranae are these small hair-like structure. They do not penetrate inside, so they are just external structure. So with the help of membranae, they hold on any surface. For sake of example, a bacteria is inside my stomach. So whenever a bacteria goes inside my stomach, so it remains adhere, or it remains stick with our stomach or even intestine. So with the help of membranae, it stick on any surface like our stomach, our intestine, or even on our body surface, right? So with the help of membranae, they are the structure which are meant for anchoring. They help in anchoring. And pili are meant for sexual reproduction, and flagella is meant for what? Locomotion.
Locomotion.
Clear?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. So next, now what is that? This is DNA. So bacterial DNA, few seconds before we have studied, bacterial DNA is always how? Circular DNA, right? It is always a circular DNA structure. It is not straight. So the DNA of bacteria is called nucleoid. We cannot use nucleus term for it because there is nuclear membrane is not present, because nucleoplasm is not present. It is not surrounded by any layer. So we call it nucleide. Nucleide is made up of circular DNA. So nucleus of bacteria is termed nucleide, right? One
Yes,
last
sir.
thing. That is not mentioned here. I will tell you what is that thing. This plasma membrane have this kind of folding. Let me make it more clear. This plasma membrane have this kind of folding. So this folding, it remains attached with DNA, or we can say DNA remains attached with this folding. These foldings are called mesosome. What we call mesosome. So what is the function of mesosome? They help in energy generation. They help in energy production. So we can compare these mesosome with mitochondria. They are like mitochondria. So this is the structure of general bacteria or eubacteria. Now tell me, is it clear to you, everyone? Mehreen?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Shoaib, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So take the screenshot, and after the class, you have to draw this structure. Eubacteria. Clear? So take the screenshot, and Abdul Rahman. Is it your first class, Abdul?
No, second class, sir.
Second class. Okay, you was there in previous class. Fine. So okay. So Abdul, last class we discussed Monera, right? And in Monera we discussed Archaebacteria. Was you there in last class, biology class?
No, sir. No, sir.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Actually, we are going through we did classification system, and I am telling the bacterial structure. So this is the Monera. This is the structure of Monera. Do you have any idea about it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I'll brief it again. Look, the bacteria have the external cover is called capsule. Capsule is made up of a carbohydrate called glycocalyx. This is actually this is the question. These are the question which has been asked in your medical examination. So capsule is made up of a sugar or carbohydrate called glycocalyx. Then the next inner layer is called cell wall. Cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan. Peptidoglycan is made up of protein and sugar. Next, the third layer is plasma membrane. It is made up of bilayer of lipid plus protein. Lipid is a type of fat. Again, inside this structure, there is a gel-like base, and this gel-like base is called cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, there is a thread-like structure. This is called DNA. And DNA of bacteria is circular. This is circular DNA. And the circular DNA is termed as nucleoid. Again, inside this protoplasm, they have a small structure. These are called ribosome. And the question is that what is the ribosome? What is the size of ribosome? So size of ribosome is 70S. Now I have a question. Would you tell me what is S? What this S denotes? I said to you, size of ribosome is 70S in bacteria. What does mean by S? Yusra, what is S? Marine?
1 minute. It is a unit of measuring, sir.
Yeah. So S denote for?
It's a unit of measurement.
Okay. Shoaib, any idea? S? Abdul, any idea about S? Look. Keep on asking me if you do not have any idea. S means Swedberg. What? Swedberg. Actually, Swedberg is the name of a scientist. He made a centrifugation machine. Centrifugation machine means it's look like washing machine. Washing machine is a centrifugation machine. Your mixer grinder is a centrifugation machine. So this kind of machine. He made a centrifugation machine, and on the basis of the centrifugation cycle of centrifugation machine, we call S. So S is unit to measure the size of ribosome, and S unit to Swedberg. So we given the name Swedberg because Swedberg was the person who designed a machine which can measure the size of ribosome. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now start noting down. Please take the screenshot. After the class, you have to draw this structure in your textbook, and please note it down. Capsule is made up of a carbohydrate called glycocalyx. Capsule is made up of a carbohydrate called glycocalyx.
Sir,
Please
can you
stop.
please say the spelling of?
Yeah, sure. Capsule is made up of. Did you take a screenshot of this one?
Yes, sir.
Should I remove it? Abdullah, is it clear to you? Abdul, is it clear to you?
Not too much.
Not too much.
Can you explain what?
This structure. Did you got this structure of bacteria? Not too much.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you will try to understand because you are a bit late. That's why it's a bit difficult for you. Keep in the class, keep on studying in the class. You will come to know it, right? I'm telling you just structure of bacteria. So you have to note it down, this structure, right? So sometime I'll give you some backup class and you will come to know about this structure more deeply.
Okay, sir.
Actually, you have missed last class, so that's why it is a bit disconnecting you. But keep in the class, you will understand each and everything, right?
Okay, sir.
Don't worry, I will make you understand, right? Okay. So look, I will write. You have taken a screenshot. I will write each and everything on the screen. So note it down. The capsule of bacteria is made up of a carbohydrate called glycocalyx. Carbohydrate called glycocalyx. Full stop. It may or may not be. It may or may not be present in bacteria. So this is not mandatory that every bacteria must have capsule. Capsule may be in bacteria, or there may be bacteria which do not have capsule. Simple. Keep on writing on the same point. The function of capsule to protect bacteria. Function of capsule to protect bacteria. Next point. You know, there was a question in a NEET examination that what is the substance from which bacterial capsule is made up of, and the answer was carbohydrate, right? So glycocalyx is a type of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate means sugar. It's a type of carbohydrate, right? And carbohydrate means sugar. Next point. Bacterial cell wall is made up of, it has also been asked in medical examination. Bacterial cell wall is made up of a chemical known as peptidoglycan. Bacterial cell wall is made up of a chemical peptidoglycan. It is the combination of protein and sugar. Look, peptido means protein and glycan means sugar. From the name you can break it. Actually, this is Latin term. That's why it seems you a bit difficult. But if you break Latin, biology is very simple, right? And I will keep on telling you that what is the meaning of how can you break this term. So peptido means protein and glycan means sugar. So this is combination of protein plus sugar. Full stop. The function of cell wall to give shape to bacteria. Function of cell wall to give shape to bacteria. Next, plasma membrane. So I told you few seconds before that plasma membrane is found in all living cell, not only bacteria. It is found in humans, it is found in all animal, it is found in all bacteria, all kind of cell. So plasma membrane found everywhere, and the composition of plasma membrane is similar for all organisms. So note it down. Plasma membrane is made up of bilayer of lipid plus protein. Bi means two, layer means layer, and lipid means fat. So it is made up of two layer of fat plus protein. Plasma membrane is made up of bilayer of lipid and protein. Full stop. The function of plasma membrane to help in exchange of material. the function of plasma membrane to help in exchange of material. Next point. The DNA of bacteria, DNA of Eubacteria is single circular single circular, and it remains attached with mesosome. It remains attached with mesosome. Full stop. This DNA is called nucleoid. This DNA, make a star, means this is question for medical examination. This DNA is called nucleoid. We cannot use nucleus term. We cannot use nucleus term here. We cannot use nucleus term here. Is that clear? So for
Yes,
nucleus
sir.
of bacteria, we cannot use nucleus term. We always use nucleoid term. Next. Mesosome. So next structure was mesosome. So note it down. Mesosomes are folding of plasma membrane. Mesosomes are folding of plasma membrane. Their function is to produce energy. Their function is to produce energy.
Sir, could you repeat again?
Yes, please. Mesosomes are folding of plasma membrane. Full stop. Their function is to produce energy like mitochondria. Their function is to produce energy like mitochondria. Do you know the function of mitochondria? Are you aware with that?
Yes, sir. It is a powerhouse of the cell.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. This is called powerhouse of the cell, and this is found in eukaryotic cell. And bacteria is a prokaryotic cell, so these mitochondria are not found in prokaryotic cell. So if mitochondria is absent, so who's doing the which part is doing the function of mitochondria? So these mesosomes are doing the function of mitochondria. They are helping in energy generation, right? Next. Bacteria have flagella for locomotion. Bacteria have flagella for locomotion. Flagella is made up of this question. Even this question have been asked in medical examination. Flagella is made up of flagellin protein. Name of protein is important. Flagella is made up of flagellin protein. Full stop. A cell may have maximum 4 flagella. Means no bacteria or no other cell can have more than 4 flagella. Flagella can be only 4. Right? Next. Bacteria have pili. They are rod-like structure. Which help in sexual reproduction, which help in sexual reproduction. Right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, one more important point. Bacteria have membrane. So we discussed few seconds before. Bacteria have membrane. They are external outgrowth. They are external outgrowth which help bacteria to anchor on any surface, which help bacteria to anchor on any surface. One more point. Nutrition in eubacteria, is autotrophic or heterotrophic. Nutrition in bacteria is autotrophic or heterotrophic. One last point. Asexual reproduction takes place by binary fission. Asexual reproduction takes place by binary fission. Who can tell me what is binary fission? Any one of you? Who is going to tell me? Please. What is binary fission? Any idea? No idea? If you won't tell me, I will tell you. Look, what is binary fission? Just binary fission. This is binary. So what happened? Bacteria multiply or reproduce with the help of binary fission. This is the process of binary fission. What happens in binary fission? When bacteria never die. We say that this is the actually binary fission process. So this is binary fission process, and this is the asexual mode of reproduction. Asexual reproduction, and in general, all bacteria reproduce by this process frequently. They hardly go for sexual reproduction. So look, this is asexual method of reproduction. What happens when a general lifespan of a bacteria is 20 minutes? So bacteria, we say bacteria never dies. Bacteria is immortal. So how bacteria is immortal? Actually, bacteria do not die itself, or it's after finish of its life, immortal. So immortal are those things which never dies. What happens? Bacteria do not die. The life of bacteria is average life. So average life of bacteria is just 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So in 20 minutes, a bacteria grow and become fat, right? It go fully. After 20 minutes, it starts. So this is cell wall, this is cell membrane, means plasma membrane, this is nucleoid, means DNA. After 20 minutes, this nucleoid or DNA is divided into two parts. And this mesosome starts growing. From after this 20 minutes, this bacteria get divided into two parts. So there is transverse septum, a wall comes over here, and bacteria divide into two separate daughter nuclei. So in 20 minutes, bacteria do not die. Actually, bacteria divide. So a full parent bacteria become into two bacteria. Now these two small bacteria, they will live another 20 minutes, right? So that's how the bacteria multiply every time, it do not die. And by this process, this is the frequent process of binary fission. This is actually frequent process of reproduction. Can you imagine a bacteria, by the process of binary fission, a bacteria becomes, how much bacteria become in 24 hours? Can anybody tell me? How many number of bacteria can be there in next 24 hours? Suppose that a bacteria is dividing again and again. I claim you can't imagine. A single bacteria after 4 years, so 24 hours, a single bacteria can divide and become 10 to power 33 in 24 hours. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, every 20 minutes they will become double, right? So they can be 10 to power 33. Now you can imagine, suppose that you get a single bacteria, disease bacteria with your food, like food poisoning takes place with a bacteria, and the name of that bacteria is what? Vibrio cholerae. So Vibrio cholerae is that bacteria which spread cholera. So suppose that any person eaten single bacteria of Vibrio cholerae, like cholera bacteria, in 24 hours the number of bacteria will be 10 to power 33. From single bacteria will become 10 to power 33. So now you can imagine. Is it clear? Binary fission?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So take this screenshot. Abdul, now are you getting it? The things?
A little bit, sir.
A little bit. Okay. Keep on trying. Okay. Marine, clear? Shoaib?
Yes, sir.
Clear, sir.
Okay, great, great. Fine. So this is take the screenshot of binary fission. Now come to the next process. I was telling you the next process, what I am going to tell you, you need not to take the screenshot. If you want, you can, right? So how the sexual reproduction takes place in bacteria? Look. In sexual reproduction, two bacteria comes in contact. Now there are two bacteria, like, so this is a bacteria and this is another bacteria, and this is pili. So what it do, it make connection with another bacteria with the help of pili. It transfer a part of DNA to another bacteria, and then they get separate. So look, this bacteria also have pili. Now this bacteria, previously there was no pili in this bacteria. Now this bacteria also have pili, right? And this bacteria have extra DNA part, right? So this is called what? Sexual reproduction. So this is sexual reproduction of bacteria. Sexual reproduction of bacteria. Yushra, clear?
So do we need to learn this
Yes.
and draw the diagram of sexual reproduction?
If you want, you can.
So will it come in the exam?
It may be. It may be like it's important for your medical exam only. It's not for a school examination.
Okay, sir.
But actually, you must know the function of the bacteria have extra DNA part that is called plasmid. You will study later in like 12th class. So I will tell you this section. I will tell you in elaborate manner in 12th class, right? So that's why I'm not putting much pressure. This is important, very important for your medical examination, very important. But you know, we will study in your 11th class. The first chapter is sexual reproduction. So in sexual reproduction, I will tell you this: how does bacteria reproduce sexually? So that's why I'm not taking much more pain. Okay, right now at 11th class. Clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So look, we studied first. I said that in Monera, we studied first thing. Look. So I told you in Monera that we have already studied Archaebacteria. We did Eubacteria. Now it comes to the blue-green algae. Put the heading blue-green algae, BGA. Now the third representative organism is BGA. They are also member of Monera, or they are also a type of bacteria. BGA stands for blue green algae. So blue green algae. Blue green algae are also known as cyanobacteria. We also call them cyanobacteria. Actually, they are mainly autotroph. Means they have capacity of making own food. Making own food by photosynthesis. And the most important thing with these bacteria that they are able to fix nitrogen. So they help in nitrogen fixation. Note it down. They help in nitrogen fixation. They bring atmospheric nitrogen. They bring atmospheric nitrogen to soil. Look, nitrogen is not found in soil. It is absent in soil. So it is not found in soil, right? It is absent in soil. And this is atmosphere. In atmosphere, nitrogen is present 78%. But we all know nitrogen is inert gas. So this nitrogen do not comes to the soil. What happens? These blue-green algae bacteria, BGA. So these BGA, what these BGA do? They trap the nitrogen and they mix this nitrogen into soil. So for plant, they make nitrogen available. So this process is called nitrogen fixation. This process is called nitrogen fixation. So nitrogen fixation is done by blue-green algae. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are certain example of blue-green algae. There is a blue-green algae. Its name is nostoc. Nostoc is a blue-green algae which is found in rice field. So what they do, they help in nitrogen fixation. Their role is nitrogen fixation. Another name of this blue-green algae, and we can say the another name of that is Anabina. Anabina is also found in rice field and it also fixes nitrogen. One more example. Did you listen about rhizobium? Anybody of you? Very popular.
Yes, sir.
We must have studied in 9th class, rhizobium. Rhizobium is found in legume plant. It is also a type of, it is found in legume means pulses plant. Rhizobium is found in pulses plant. This bacteria is found in pulses plant. And the function is same. Every blue-green algae, it fixes nitrogen. Clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. So what's the first word? The first example?
Sorry, what the?
The first example.
First example is nostoc. Nostoc. N-O-S-T-O-C. Nostoc. This one, nostoc.
Okay, sir.
So nostoc is found in rice field. Anabina is found in rice field. Rhizobium found in pulses plant. Clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir, I'm
sir.
copying.
Okay, okay, fine. So now I will explain you the structure of nostoc. Actually, this is in your NCERT book as well, right? So what is nostoc? I'll explain it for you. Just a minute. Let me show you diagram of nostoc. Look, keep on trying to understand each and every concept, right? Just give me 1 minute. Keep on trying to understand each and every concept, right? And in case if you are not getting it, like I'll give you backup class, but provided if you are ready to understand it. And one more important thing for my class, if don't feel any hesitation, if you don't know any term, suppose that I explained you any term, any sort of term, because I think that you know these terms because you have studied in 9th and 10th class. And in case maybe it happens with me as well, might be you have forgot that. So don't hesitate. If you'll ask me, I'll explain you clearly, and I will explain you more clearly, right? So in case if you think that this is not clear to you, just say. And in case like if you are taking this class and even you feel that you haven't got the concept or you have some query, so you can have an extra class and you can have you can clear your query. I'm available there for you, but provided you must be ready to listen it, you must be ready to understand it, right? So first important thing is that you must be ready to learn. And if you are ready to learn, I claim you, I will make you learn. Believe on me, I will make you learn. And if you'll keep on studying, I claim just do 11th and 12th with me. In medical examination, there will be 90 questions. out of this 90 question, I claim that you will get more than 85 question. You can do more than 85 question. Number of our students, they do more than 85, right? Even you can do. This is not a very big task. You can, but provided you have to work hard with me, right? So first rule, never hesitate. Look, this is nostoc. So what is that? It is a type of blue-green algae, or we can say this is a type of cyanobacteria. So every cell in nostoc, this is a series of cell. So nostoc is covered with some mucilage. So its body is, right, there are a number of the cells. All these cells are covered with mucilage. What is mucilage? Mucilage is a gel-like structure. It is gel-like structure, and it is made up of carbohydrates, right? It is protective covering for bacteria. So all the cells of blue-green algae do not fix nitrogen. These are photosynthetic cells. These are photosynthetic normal cells. They have a special type of the cell, these cells. They are called heterocysts. So heterocyst, this cell, this pink color cell, this magenta color cell, this magenta color cell, these are heterocysts. Heterocysts are actually impermeable to oxygen. Oxygen cannot go inside these cells. They are impermeable to oxygen. And what is the function of heterocyst? They fix nitrogen. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Clear to everyone? They fix nitrogen. Marine, clear? Abdul, Shoaib, all of you clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the purpose of this cell is to fix nitrogen. So take the screenshot and draw it after the class. This was blue-green algae. Now come to the next part. Acha, tell me one thing. I have a question. So is it unicellular or multicellular?
Bacteria?
Yes, Yusra, multi or uni?
Unicellular.
Unicellular. Shoaib, multi or
Blue-green
uni?
algae or bacteria? Blue-green algae.
Blue-green algae. Yes, nostoc. Nostoc is multicellular or unicellular?
Multicellular.
Multicellular. Shoaib, is it uni or multicellular? What do you say? Uni or multi? Mehreen, uni or multicellular? Abdul, what do you say? Is it unicellular or multicellular?
Unicellular, sir.
Unicellular. Okay, great. These are unicellular. Look, bacteria can never be multicellular. So why these cells are, why it is, there are number of the cell, and I am saying again and again it's a unicellular. Look, what happens? These cells are separated from each other. These are separated cells. They are not interconnected cells. Actually, they are separate cells, and they are associated with a common matrix or associated with common mucilage. They are bounded by common mucilage. So if in any body the cells are not interconnected, we can't say that it is multicellular structure. And for multicellular structure, there must be connection between two cells. So what sort of the connection? Actually, in multicellular, what happens? If it is plant cell, there will be a pore which connect the protoplasm of this cell to another cell. And these pores, these connections are called plasmodesmata. What is that? Plasmodesmata. If there is plasmodesmata between two plant cell, we can say them multicellular. If there is no plasmodesmata, they cannot be called multicellular. Here, this is chain of bacteria. It is not multicellular structure. Every cell is separated over here. Every cell is separate. Yusra, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
we will call it, yes. So next, so we have discussed that there are further part of Monera. Yeah. So in Monera, we said Monera, first thing what we studied, that was Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria. We did that. After Archaebacteria, we did Eubacteria. Fine. Then third representative organism of Monera, we did what? Blue-green algae. Now we are going to cover this fourth and last part, that is called Mycoplasma. Any one of you have idea about the Mycoplasma? Put the heading Mycoplasma. So Monera have 4 representative members. Archaebacteria means oldest cell or oldest bacteria. Eubacteria means modern bacteria. Then blue-green algae, these one, and the next one is Mycoplasma. Put the heading Mycoplasma. Now let's discuss the structure of Mycoplasma. I'll show you the structure of Mycoplasma. Look, this is the Mycoplasma. This is Mycoplasma. So in Mycoplasma, look, Mycoplasma is the only bacteria. It is also a type of bacteria. So first, let me tell you, there are further more names of Mycoplasma. They are also called PPLO. So Mycoplasma are also known as PPLO. What is PPLO? Pleuro pneumonia like organism. Pleuro pneumonia like organism. So that is PPLO. They are also, these Mycoplasma are also known as joker of plant world. Joker of plant world. Actually, they can change their shape and they can change their color. That's why they are called joker. They are the only bacterial cell which do not have cell wall or capsule. So every bacteria cell have capsule, but they do not have capsule. First thing. Their outer covering is made up of lipid membrane or plasma membrane. Their DNA is not circular. They are very different from some bacteria. They have exceptional characteristics. So their DNA is straight, right? Their DNA is straight, like chain. They have some soluble RNA, and mainly they are parasite. So most of them are parasite, and they causes disease in plant and animal. They are parasite. Clear? And the most peculiar character, they are the smallest organism of the world. It has been asked many times. So keep on noting down, please note it down. Take the screenshot and then note down the characteristic of Mycoplasma. Mycoplasma are the simplest and smallest. Mycoplasma are the simplest and smallest free living organism of world. Mycoplasma are the simplest and smallest free living organism of the world. Next point. Their size is 0.1 micrometer to 0.15 micrometer. Their size is 0.1 micrometer to 0.15 micrometer. Next point. They are the only bacteria. They are the only bacteria which do not have. They are the only bacteria which do not have cell wall. They are the only bacteria which do not have their cell wall. Next point. They are the pleomorphic. They are the pleomorphic. What is pleomorphic? Pleomorphic. Actually, they can change their shape. So those organisms which can change their shape, they are called pleomorphic. Note it down, please. Important. It's important question. They are the pleomorphic. That is these organisms can change. That is, these organisms can change their shape. Next point. Their DNA is not circular. Their DNA is not circular. It is a straight structure. Their DNA is not circular. It is a straight structure. Next point. The size of ribosome is 70 S type. The size of ribosome is 70 S type. You know, these structures are called replication disc. Replication disc. It is also found only in mycoplasma. So with the help of replication disc, DNA divide 1 to 2. So note it down. They have replication disc. They have replication disc which help DNA. They have replication disc which help DNA to divide into 2. Which help DNA to divide into 2. One last point, which help DNA to divide into 2. So from replication disc, this bacterial DNA divide into 2 parts, right? One last question, but very important question, and this question have been asked in your medical examination, already asked. So most of the mycoplasma are parasite. Most of the mycoplasma are parasite on plant and animal. Most of the mycoplasma are parasite on plant and animal, but some of them are saprophyte. Some of them are saprophyte. So this was all about the bacteria and Monera. Now tell me, any one of you, do you have any confusion, any doubt, or any question? Feel free to ask me. Shoaib?
No, sir.
No. Shoaib, are you getting it or not?
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Crystal clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about you, Mehreen?
Yes, sir.
Mehreen?
Clear.
Crystal clear, na?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Great, great. What about you, Abdul? Tell me how much percentage out of 100%, how much you got my points? This is your first class, so how much you got it? And unable to listen you actually. You're not audible to.
Sir, 60.
60%. Okay. So keep on keep on attending the class, and you will get the 100% gradually. Actually, you know, you joined us in the mid of the batch. Yeah. So that is the reason, right?
Okay.
So all of you able to write it down, jot it down, है ना?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, fine. So after this class, now we will start with the protista. So after this class, what you have to do, revise all the concept and revise the complete topic of this Monera. And in case if you are feeling problem anywhere in any point in any concept, so you can ask me in next class as well, right? And for sake of Abdul, suppose like you have missed some topic which I have taught all of them in last class. So what we can do, I'll ask to Niskarji, will arrange some separate class. So I'll compensate it to you, right? Even you can have backup video as well from Niskarji. So we'll do that, but keep on trying, right? Okay.
Right.
So we did Monera, and the next kingdom is Protista. To put heading Kingdom Protista. So Kingdom Protista. First, let me make you understand what is Protista all about, or what Protista is exactly. So what happened when we were studying 5 kingdom classification system? I told you that all unicellular eukaryotic organism, they have been kept in a single group and we made a protista. So that's why it is also known as mixed group. So why mixed group? We call it mixed group because we have taken organism from different kingdom. So what we did, so there are 3 more kingdom: Plantae, Animalia, and Fungi, right? So we taken out unicellular fungi from fungi kingdom. We take in unicellular plant from Plantae kingdom. We take in unicellular animal from animal kingdom. So we have taken all these organisms from different kingdom and we kept them in a single group and we called them Monera. So that's why it is called mixed group, because there are mixed organisms and we have taken these organisms from different group and we made a new group that is called Protista. Clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In your NCRT, the Protista has been just mentioned like first there is, you have NCRT along with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in
Sir,
NCRT you will see there are in Protista kingdom there are chrysophytes, dinoflagellate, euglenoid, slime mold, and protozoa. They all are there in your NCRT, right?
Yeah, I have.
Yes.
Page number.
Yes, it's there in page number 21. Page number 21. It's there. 20 and 21. So in page number 20 and 21, kingdom is Protista, and kingdom Protista you will find chrysophytes, dinoflagellate, euglenoid, slime molds, and protozoa. So they all have been given. They all have been given like just roughly. I will teach you more like a systematic manner. So further, Protista have been divided into 3 groups. There are 3 groups. So on the basis of nutrition, we make 3 groups of Protista. First, try to understand, then tell me that you got it or not. So on the basis of nutrition, Protista divided into divided into 3 groups. So first group is photosynthetic Protista. Photosynthetic Protista. So all those Protista or all those member of Protista which can make their food by the process of photosynthesis, we have kept them in a single group. Actually, they are the Protista which has been taken out from Plantae kingdom. So first of them are, they are chrysophytes, right? Dinoflagellate, euglenoid. So they all are those protistans which have like this kind of nutrition, right? So we have kept them in a separate group. So first, photosynthetic protistans. First are dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellate. Then second are called chrysophytes. Chrysophytes. Third are called euglenoid. So they all perform photosynthesis and make their own food. So this is the first group of, right, Protista. Second group of Protista, they are called consumer decomposer. Consumer decomposer. So generally, what are they? They behave like fungi. So consumer means they eat some organic matter, and decomposer means or bacteria, and decomposer means they grow on dead and decaying matter. So there is only one kind of organism, and these organisms have been kept in a single group. Only one kind of organism, and they are slime mold. So we have kept in slime mold. We have again made third class. So third group is that protozoa, है ना? So protozoan protista. So protozoan protista are those which have been taken out from Animalia or animal kingdom. So we have taken out animal cells, single cellular animal, and we have kept them in protozoan protista. In protozoan protista, further they are divided into 4 groups. So first one is, so we have divided protozoa on the basis of locomotion, right? So those which have flagella, so they have been kept in flagellated protozoan. Second, those which look like amoeba and behave like amoeba, they are called amoeboid protozoan. Third, those which have cilia, they are called ciliated protozoan, right? Last but not the least, the fourth one, that is D, they are those like sporozoans protozoan. Sporozoans. So this is the classification of Protista. Tell me, is it clear? This is this classification is systematically clear to you?
Yes, sir.
All of you? Abdul, this time you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So note it down this one. Then we will go ahead and we will start with photosynthetic Protista. Note it down. Mary, note it down.
Yes, sir,
No,
I'm
sir.
writing.
Last one.
Please note it down. Then tell me. Then we'll go ahead. Done?
1 minute, sir.
Done, sir.
Done? Should we get?
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay, so put the heading photosynthetic protestant first. So in photosynthetic protestant, we have kept all those organism or protestant. We have kept all those organism or protestant which are autotrophic, which are autotroph, which are protestant, which are autotroph. That is, they make their food. That is, they make their food by the process of photosynthesis. That is, they make their food by the process of photosynthesis. They can be further divided. They can be further divided in 3 groups. Now the first group is dinoflagellate. So put the heading A, that is dinoflagellate. Dinoflagellate. Right. So dinoflagellate. So what are the examples of dinoflagellate? Let me first make you clear what are actually dinoflagellates, right? So dinoflagellate are small algae-like structure. Let me show you the structure of dinoflagellate first. Then you will realize what actually they are. So dinoflagellate. Where is dinoflagellate? Okay. Look. These are the dinoflagellate. You have to remember only 2 names, right? Goniolax and Gymnodium. These the lower one. So you have to remember. So why I am saying remember that these 2 names? Because they have been asked number of times by different characteristics. So I think it not be very it not be legible to you. It not be very clear to you. Yes, not clear, na? Not clear. Let me write it down. This spelling.
Yes,
That is
sir,
Goniolax.
blur.
GonyauLax, and you will pronunciate it Goniolax. Clear? This is Goniolax, and you have to remember all these 2 names, right? And this one is Gymnodium. So Gymnodium. Gymnodium. So Goniolax and Gymnodium. What is the property of Goniolax and Gymnodium? Actually, Gymnodium and Goniolax, these both, they are of red color, right? They are of red color. What they do actually, they multiply in large number in oceans, and they makes water red. So whenever the tide come, it looks red. So they are responsible for red tide, right? So they are responsible for red tide phenomena. This phenomena is called red tide. One more important. Goniolax have one more property, that this Goniolax, it emit light in night. So it produces some light like firefly. So it produces some light. So this phenomena is called bioluminescence. Bioluminescence. So this bioluminescence phenomena is found bioluminescence.
So are these the organisms which produce kind of blue light in the water at night when the water moves?
They just produce a glittering light, a sparkling light, right? Night. So that's why they are called. This phenomena is called bioluminescence, right? One more important thing. They are actually photosynthetic organism, right? And you will see, like these structures, they have plate-like structure. These structures. So these plate-like structure, this is called Theca or Lorica, right? This one. So they have these plate-like structure. This plate-like structure is actually made up of cellulose, right? Cellulose plate. And the name of this structure is Theca or Lorica. So this is called Theca. This covering is called Theca or Lorica. Theca or Lorica, this is made up of a material, and this material is called cellulose. So they have cellulose covering. One more important. They always have two flagella. And both of the flagella, they come from different angle. So first flagella, they have two flagella. So this is one flagella, right? And this is two flagella. So when any organism, please note it down, focus on my concept, whatever I am delivering you, focus on the point. So when any organism have two flagella, so they have two flagella, and these flagella are different, either in shape or in structure. So we call this kind of flagella is heterocont flagella. Heterocont flagella. Am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
And when both flagella are similar, if any organism have two flagella, both flagella are similar in structure and shape, we call them isocont flagella. Iso means similar. So heterocont flagella, different flagella, isocont flagella, similar flagella. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So please take this screenshot and draw these two lowermost two examples, Gonavlax and Gymnodium. Take the screenshot and then start noting down plant. Start noting the point.
Done, sir.
Abdul, clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Great. Marine, crystal clear?
Yes, sir.
Great. So please start noting down the point. First point. Most of them are marine, means they are found in sea.
Sir, please again.
Yeah. Most of them are marine. Most of them are marine. And
Or what, sir?
Most of them are marine. That is, they occur in oceanic water, salty water. Most of them are marine, and some of them are found in fresh water. Most of them are marine, and some of them are found in fresh water. Next point. Their body remains covered with cellulose plate, which is called Theca or Lorica. Their body remains covered with cellulose plate, which is called Theca or Lorica. Next point. They have two flagella. one horizontal and another vertical. They have two flagella, one horizontal.
What, sir?
They have two flagella, one horizontal, this one transverse flagella, and another vertical. This type of flagella are called heterocont. This type of flagella are called heterocont. Next point. This kind of flagella, this is heterocont. This kind of flagella are called heterocont.
Okay.
Clear? Next point.
Yes, sir.
Goniolax, this one, Goniolax and Gymnodium. Goniolax and Gymnodium grow in large number in sea. Goniolax and Gymnodium grow in large number in sea and make water look red and make water look red. This is called red tide phenomena. This is called red tide phenomena. Next point. Goniolax emit light and Goniolax emit light, and this phenomena is called bioluminescence, and this phenomena is called bioluminescence. Next point. They have,
Sir, could you repeat the point again?
yeah, sure. Goniolax emit light. Goniolax emit light, and this phenomena is called bioluminescence. Next one. They have chlorophyll A and C. They have chlorophyll A and C for photosynthesis. Generally, reproduction takes place by asexual method. Generally, reproduction takes place by asexual method, but some of them have sexual reproduction. That's it. Is that clear to everyone? Dinoflagellate, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So actually, small fishes and small organism, they eat them for their food, right? So the food is stored in their body in form of some starch and oil as well, right? Should we go ahead?
Yes,
Crystal
sir.
clear to all of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Marine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so next, second heading. So the second heading is that dinoflagellate was the first one, and the second one was the B one was they were chrysophytes. So chrysophytes, they are very peculiar. They are also photosynthetic organelle. They do the photosynthesis, but normally in general we call them diatoms or golden algae. We call them diatoms, or we also call them golden algae. Golden algae. Actually, they are this kind of structure, and outside of their wall, deposition of silica takes place. So silica deposit. And what happens when they die? They do not degrade easily. So these chrysophytes, they are actually found in the sea floor area of, look, suppose that this is any ocean, right? So this is any ocean, and this is water. This is water. So these, suppose that these are the diatoms, number of diatoms they are found over here. What happens when they die? They start getting deposited. So when they die, their dead body pile up here. Yes, their dead body start depositing here, keep on depositing. But these dead body do not decompose. They do not decompose. They keep on depositing here, right? And they make a very thick layer of this their dead body. And this thick layer of their dead body is called diatomite. This is called diatomite or diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth. So this soil-like structure is called diatomite or diatomaceous. What we do, what is the economic importance of this one? What we do, we take out this diatomite or diatomaceous earth, and we use in making toothpaste, we use in making that hair gel, hair oils, right? We use it making filtering antibiotic medicine. We use it in filtering this one oil. So that's how they are used. So this is the use of diatomite, right? And this is the diatom. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
One of the most important point about the diatoms, that 50% of photosynthesis which happen on the earth is performed by diatoms across the earth. You know, these bigger plant, they do not photosynthesis that much like diatom do. So diatoms, 50% photosynthesis on the earth, it is done by diatom. Note it down, this diatomite, right? Then I'll show you the diagram of diatoms. How does they look like? Note down. The external wall of diatom, external wall of diatom is made up of silica. External wall of diatom is made up of silica. Full stop. It do not decay easily. It do not decay easily. Full stop. Dead body of diatom, dead body of diatom pile up at the bottom of water body. Dead body of diatom pile up at the bottom of water body, and this is called diatomite or diatomaceous earth. This is called diatomite or diatomaceous earth. Clear? Now let me show you the diagram of diatom. How does they look like? Look. the structure of diatom is like a tiffin box of a small kid. So you must have seen that at your home, the small kid have this type of tiffin box. When they go to school, they have this kind of tiffin box. And that tiffin box have a lower part and upper lid. So the same structure is of diatoms. So the lower part is called hypotheca and upper part is called epitheca, right? So they have two. Now this upper portion. So upper lid is called epitheca and lower part is called hypotheca. This upper part is called epiwall and lower part is called hypowall. And this side wall is called girdle bands. They have some girdle bands. And this complete external cover. So inside this cell, inside this covering, there is plasma membrane, protoplasm, and nucleus. So this cover, external cover, is called frustule. And frustule is made up of what? Silica. Is it clear to you? Structure?
Yes, sir.
Abdul, clear? Clear to you? Abdul, is it clear? Marine, clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so please start noting down. The body is covered with transparent silica, shell. The body is covered with transparent silica shell and it is known as frustule. Full stop. Frustule have two parts. Upper epitheca and lower hypotheca. Frustule have two parts. Upper epitheca and lower hypotheca. Full stop. Next point. They do not have flagella for locomotion. They do not have flagella for locomotion. Next point. They have chlorophyll A and C. Again, they have chlorophyll A and C, which help them in photosynthesis. They have chlorophyll A and C, which help them in photosynthesis.
Sir,
Yes.
what does chlorophyll A and C mean?
Actually, okay, great. Look, generally we study that these are the plant leaves, and inside the plant leaves, so there are cells. These perform photosynthesis. Inside this cell, there is this kind of structure. These are like ball of rugby. These structure perform photosynthesis. Light fall on them and they make food. These structure are called chloroplast. Now inside this chloroplast, there is a chemical. There is a green color chemical that is called chlorophyll. Right? So chlorophyll is a type of chemical which is responsible for photosynthesis. It works as catalyst in photosynthesis. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Chlorophyll may be of various kinds. It may be A, B, C, D, and E. Generally, chlorophyll B is the most advanced. This is found in higher plant. And rest lower organism, they have chlorophyll A, C, D, and E. Is it clear, Yusra?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. So you can note it down. So chlorophyll is a type of chemical which help in photosynthesis process, right? So lower organism always have A, C, A. A is the most common. A is found in all, but the most advanced chlorophyll is chlorophyll B. It is found in angiosperm plant, right? So note it down. They also have a pigment called fucoxanthin. They also have a pigment called fucoxanthin, which gives them brown color. Which gives them brown color. Next point, note, please note it down. This is question for your medical examination. So note it down, put a note and write it down. About half of all organic matter, about half of all organic matter synthesized on earth, about half of organic matter synthesized on earth by photosynthesis believed to be produced by diatom. Clear?
By what, sir?
About half of organic
No,
matter,
by what?
half of organic matter synthesized on earth are believed to be produced by diatom.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, it means like by the process of photosynthesis, whatever the food is made across the world, 50% of that food is produced by diatoms. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Next, diatomite is used in making toothpaste. Diatomite is used in making toothpaste, polish, full stop. It
Sir,
is called toothpaste. Diatomite is used in making toothpaste and polish, right? Next point, it is also
Next
used,
point.
yeah, it is also used in cleaning. It is also used in cleaning alcohol, oil syrup, alcohol, oil, syrup, and medicine. One last point, diatoms are indicator of pollution. Diatoms are indicator of pollution. Now tell me, is it crystal clear to all of you, whatever we have studied today? Crystal clear? Not clear, crystal clear. 100%
Can
clear?
you please repeat the second last line? It is also used in cleaning alcohol.
Cleaning alcohol, sugar syrup, yeah, syrup, sugar syrup, oil, and medicine. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whatever we have studied today, after the class, what you have to do, you have to revise all those concepts, right? And whatever the difficulties or whatever the questions you are getting in your mind, what you have to do, please jot it down over there. And in next class, in like starting 10 minutes, you can ask the like you can ask your doubt, you can clear your doubt, you can clear your concept as well, right? And then we will go ahead, right? So today we have started with the Monera, Protista. So in Protista, we are studying photosynthetic Protista. One more photosynthetic Protista left. So in next class, you have to tell me that I have to start euglenoid onward. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So in case if you have query, please ask me about the subject or out of the subject. So all of you comfortable with the way we are studying, or you have any query?
Yes, sir.
Great. So see you in next class, and in next class, and especially about you, Abdul. What you have to do, like you have missed the class Monera, right? So you can do one thing. Take the video link or video backup from Niskarji, and still if you are not aware, like clear with the concept, we'll have someday a doubt session or doubt concept, and we can discuss all those things and we can clear that, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So see you in next class, all of you, right? Bye-bye.
Alternate.
Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
welcome. Bye-bye. Take care. Good night.